Welcome to Elevate Your Dog Summit. We're so excited that you're here today, and we're going to talk about an exciting topic, and that is trick dog titles and stunt dog titles. We have two experts here today for you guys to help you with getting your dog titled in tricks. It's going to be amazing. We have Kim Mays here today to help you on the do more with your dog side, and I'm here for you guys today to help you more on the AKC side. This is live. That's the coolest part, that you guys that are here live and joining us live right now can ask us questions. You can interact with us. Comments will be coming up onto the screen. It's going to be a great experience. But if you're watching this on replay, thank you for joining us too. And don't be afraid to comment a question down below so we can capture it later. Thanks to you guys for the loving support you've had for Elevate Your Dog Summit. All your likes, your comments, your shares has made this such a great experience for all of us trainers. We are doing this for free for you guys because we know a lot's going on in your lives right now, and so we want to make sure to provide you some amazing information during this time, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it. And so if you have any questions, once again, comment down below. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and welcome our very special guest, Kim Mays. Hey, Kim, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? I'm here with Loki. We are social distancing today, just playing some roll it, Monopoly, because who doesn't play with their trick dog playing some Monopoly? So we are just hanging out, and we want to answer whatever questions we can about your trick dog titles. We've had a lot of questions in the last week, especially because there's been so many changes to the trick program and the stunt program, and now you can do so much more virtually. So I kind of wanted to iron out those. Maybe, Trevor, you can field some questions for me as we go along, and kind of give everybody an idea of what this is about. So I know there's probably a lot of people that are already involved in the trick community on here today, but really we want to touch on people a lot too that are brand new to tricks and don't really know what the trick, what you can do in tricks. Tricks can encompass everything. So a lot of times we think of, like jump through hoops of fire and those circus trick dogs. And tricks can be your basic obedience commands. They can help you with any kind of sport that you might want to get involved in. And long time ago, when I first got involved with the Do More With Your Dog program, when its first inception, probably, gosh, I'm thinking it's probably about 10 years ago now, there was so much, it was kind of like a triathlon of sports to me, because I looked at the different tricks and the lists, and there was just so much that I could do in one sport. So everything was combined, and I could really get my dogs to develop. And the other plus was that, at the time I had a very reactive dog, and Loki is a good example of that. Loki, I'm going to move you off the board for a second. You are not a playing piece. But Loki was a very, very shy dog. There was no way that he could have done a trial in the beginning. He was terrified. And so I needed an outlet for dogs like that I had in my own house and some of my students that had great potential to do things, but I didn't have great outlets for that. So the trick program is great for that. So we're going to answer some of your questions today, and some of the ones that I've gotten over the last week, and kind of go from there. So Trevor, did you have anything that you wanted to add in?
I just think the idea of tricks is amazing, because I think a lot of us work so hard on the obedience skills, like stays, come when called, walk on leash, and sadly those aren't recognized to the public as well as tricks are, meaning that I've had people, I've shown them all these great obedience skills with a dog, and then they go, well, what tricks does your dogs know? They want to know how my dog knows how to do shake a paw, play dead, roll over, and all these other tricks. So people are really fascinated. So it's something very impressive to people, is teaching your dog some tricks, and it's super easy. There's so many resources out there. We're going to be providing some in the links in the comment section down below in the comments. We're going to be posting links. Check them out. I will be also posting all the links up in the description as well for you guys to check out too after the broadcast, so you guys can get to access to these amazing pieces of information. Kim Mays has even a Facebook group that you can join that she does coaching with. I just launched with AKC a whole series of trick videos for your first novice title, and I'm filming some more right now. Shh, no one knows that really. So now it's out. More. So if you come here to Elevate Your Dog Summit, you get some of the good secrets too. But it's awesome. It's a great experience. It's at no time better time than now. Like right now is to join the trick party because there's so much opportunity. And even there is like through Do More With Your Dog, they're doing events where you can actually compete with tricks, and that's really cool. And I'm sure AKC is coming up with their own thing around the corner as well. And so I'm stoked about it. So if you guys have questions, let us know. But I'm super curious because you had to mention it and you had to show it. Like, how are you playing Monopoly with your dog right now? What's that all entail right now?
Okay, so it's a lot of, I'll pull the board back out for a second, but it's a lot of take it. It's a lot of impulse control with these little pieces. And paper. Loki loves shredding paper. So we started with a basic take it. And one of the things that I love about the trick programs is that they break things down into levels. So you have your novice, intermediate, advanced, expert, and each one is built to build off of the next. So if we want to teach our dog
piano,
piano in the background, if we want to teach our dog something more difficult, like say maybe play piano, then we're going to teach a touch it in the beginning. I'm going to move that to the back so you don't have to hear that too much. But with things like this, I just start with a basic take it. So we're going to do, say we rolled the dice. So we're going to take that, roll it, go boy, and he gets a little treat for that. Now a dice, it's a pretty difficult thing. So what I usually do is start with things like take a card. Okay, so we're going to take a card, drop, okay, and then we advance to Illinois Avenue. Ooh, la, la, la. We pass go. We got $200.
He loves it too. I is so impressed that he has such great stuff. Like, how cool is that? Like, dogs are a lot like our fur children these days, our kids. So it's so cool to be able to play with their dogs in this way. And I think that's really interesting. I want to maybe touch on that a little bit. Is what's so fascinating to me about tricks is this is actually the originating piece of the puzzle of having a dog in the first place, or dogs being part of our lives, is we taught dogs how to do certain behaviors to help us on an everyday basis. Right now, maybe, we have dogs still herding, we have dogs still used for hunting, we have dogs still, right now, in a more modern sense, used for service dog work. But, tricks is all about how can you incorporate everyday life in having some fun with your dog. So it's so cool to see that evolution of tricks and how that's moved throughout society.
Well, and I also think it's great that there's so many different types of tricks. In our household, all my dogs have their champion trick dog titles, which is the highest level. And we have Loki. A lot of you know my huskies, and I have several huskies. And then I even had an English bulldog that he passed away a couple years ago, but he had his champion title. So, you're having a bulldog, a Chinese crested, and a Siberian husky. Okay, they're all completely different. They have different strengths, different weaknesses. Some were young puppies, some were older dogs and seniors when they started their tricks. So it's open to everybody, and it's a great way to get the family involved with training your dog. So there's, the kids are going to want to get involved because they see tricks as fun. Even if you were doing a sit or a lay down, some kind of obedience commands, you think of it like a trick, and you think of it in a different light, and it's kind of light, and there's not as much pressure on everybody. So I kind of wanted to touch on the on how to get involved with it today. And a lot of people know that Trick Dog Do More With Your Dog program has what we call Spark Teams. And Spark Teams, they're named that because they're meant to, and ignite your passion into the trick world. So we call them spark teams. And basically, these are teams where you can go. We have the Rockin' Dogs one. We have a novice all the way through champion. And you start at the novice level. We have lists of lots of different tricks, videos that you can learn all the different tricks. You're required to do 15 at the novice level, and then you can move on to the intermediate. But you can post your videos right there, and Trevor is going to supply you guys with different links, because you can.
Yep, I already posted one right in the comment section.
You can message me, you guys. You can put them in the Spark team, but the Spark teams are nice because you've got a lot of people going over the same tricks that you are. So I think in our novice group, I think there's about 500 people maybe in that group. So you've got all these people learning at the same level you are. So you can learn from them. You can see what they're doing. You can see my responses to what they need to do for the different tricks. So you're really in a community of people that are really uplifting and going through the same things you are. So if you're brand new to tricks and you just don't know what you're doing, there's a lot of support there. So that's a great place to start. The other thing that's brand new, though, is that we now have the Stunt Dog Titles, which are now available virtually. And the Stunt Dog Titles are, you have to kind of get with me on Zoom or Skype or FaceTime or something, and I'm going to watch your Stunt Dog trial routine. So basically, you would go on the Do More With Your Dog website, and when you go there, it's going to give you, you can see a drop-down menu of the different trainers or the different judges that can judge your trials, and you pick that, and then we just set up a time. So that's pretty much it, and then we go through the run-through just like if you were at a regular trial. So that's kind of a great perk right now. Another thing that's new is, and I don't know if you wanted to touch on this, is the Akc Trials. Now you can get your trick dog title on Akc. So I'm going to see my list because there are lots of different rules.
Yep. And then, guys, thank you for joining us today. I wanted just real quickly. Actually, we have some really cool comments in here too, or some things like that. And one of them I do want to touch base is, and if you could just tackle for a second here, how do you choose to do AKC versus Do More With Your Dog? Go ahead and share the advantages of Do More With Your Dog, and then I'll take a stab at some of the things that AKC can offer too, and the difference between the two.
So the main difference, I guess, is, gosh, I mean, they both have their plus and minuses. The Do More With Your Dog program, I like because it's transferable to AKC, which the AKC titles are not transferable to Do More With Your Dog, which means when you're doing your AKC title, or when you do your Do More With Your Dog title, you can just give AKC the information. You know, when you get your diploma in the mail, they have you fill out their form, and you've got now the AKC equivalent title. So if you had your novice, you would have the Trick Dog Novice and that. If you only do AKC, you can't transfer it. So if you're interested in doing Stunt Dog Titles, you can't go back and forth like that. So you would have to do your Do More With Your Dog titles and tricks to move on to stunts. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are. But that's probably the main difference. There are other differences too. Actually, there's quite a bit when it gets to the tricks. So there's all kinds of outlets online. You can find the AKC Evaluators guide, and it gives you a breakdown of what the exact requirements are for the tricks. Do More With Your Dog. You can find it in Kyra's books mainly, but you can also, if you're involved in the stunt team or the Spark teams, just ask your trainer that you're working with, and they can give you what the requirements are. Probably one more difference too is Do More With Your Dog. There are some tricks that are always required to do twice. So things like when I was doing the shell game earlier with Loki, any kind of nose work, they usually require you to do 2 in a row. Just make sure the dog is sniffing it out and looking for the appropriate thing and not just going by muscle memory. But some tricks you can get away with just doing once. Whereas AKC does require that when you're doing your video format, your virtual format, that it's filmed at least twice. So those are probably the biggest, good bow, buddy. Those are probably the biggest differences that I can think of off the top of my head.
Thanks for grabbing that real quickly. I was trying to help some people find this live stream during that time too. So thank you those that are joining back in here. But I would have to say that just in general, like just the history of some trick dog stuff, Do More With Your Dog came along with AKC to provide a structure, I think, for the AKC Trick Dog program. AKC has taken the Trick Dog program and now it's its own element and its own thing. So they're two different organizations, and for a while you were able to do the Do More With Your Dog titles were transferable to AKC. I don't think that's true anymore. Is that right? Like, I don't think
yes,
they are transferable.
Yeah, so you can transfer Do More With Your Dog to AKC, and AKC does recognize Stunt Dog titles. So I don't think a lot of people knew that, but they do recognize it if you get your Stunt Dog title through Do More With Your Dog.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, you have to pay AKC their fee for registering the title. So, but you don't have to pay someone to reevaluate your dog's title. So, like so typically that's a process too. Like you have the process of paying whoever is evaluating your titles, and then you have to pay the organization to get that title or to put that title. And that's just, obviously, it's time.
Yeah, so what I a lot of times suggest to students that are interested in getting both titles is that I'll have them do the Do More With Your Dog titles through the most advanced level that they want to. So say they want to go all the way through the expert level, which is transferable to AKC, then you can go to AKC with that expert diploma, and you only have to pay their one time, I think it's $25 fee, and then you've got your expert in both, or your performer. It would be expert and performer at AKC. But if you did it in pieces, you would have to pay, $25
gotcha.
to Do More With Your Dog, and then novice and AKC 25 and up, and right. So the money would get up there. So it's easier to just do it all in one shot.
Right, I see. So it just really depends. Like if you want the actual physical title from AKC, novice, and on and on and on, then you're going to want to do the individuals. But if you just want to progress, or if you want to get to the fastest level and both Do More With Your Dog and AKC, that's an awesome way to do it. It's like a nice little hack there. so that's really, really cool.
It's like they're falling off.
And I'm sure if you're just, if you want to get it later too, you could always just prove to AKC that you've done the novice as well later. If you want to do it later too, I'm sure. I'm not speaking for AKC brand, but I would say, it just depends. Look at both. I would say there is certain level of difficulty with both. Like some titles are more difficult to get in one organization versus another. It just depends. So just look through it. Now, here's the thing. So I want to give you guys a little tidbit, because I'm all AKC. I don't do anything with Do More With Your Dog. No harm, no foul. Not that I hate Do More With Your Dog or anything. I think they're great. I think that's really cool. I think, especially because of cool people like Kim Mays. Like, come on. Can't get much cooler than her. So, but the thing is that my biggest suggestion, so this is going to be like probably the most rad tip for you guys that are trying to get AKC Trick Dog titles. And that is the novice Trick Dog title. You're allowed to lure with food in hand throughout the whole titling process. So, listen closely. You want to maybe write this down. My highest suggestion to you is to make a game plan for your whole titling track of what tricks you are going to do, starting with your most difficult and moving backwards. Because my whole thing is, if your dog can do a spin and twist, turn left and turn right, with no food in hand, you can save that for a future title that when you can't have that food in hand.
Uh-huh.
So what you want to do is the tricks that maybe are a bit more difficult for your dog to do without food that you can use in your novice trick dog title. Do those. So because that's going to make you be able to save up your easier tricks for future dog titles. And you'll move through the whole titling process faster that way. So that's the most rad tip, right? It's if everyone wants to put that's rad in the comment section, I'd love it. That's rocking. Hey, maybe
food wars is always a good thing.
That's rocking.
Now, do more with your dog breaks it down a little bit differently in the beginner, in the novice level. You can use treats 50% of the time for your food lures. Intermediate, it becomes 25%. And then the higher levels, no food or no leash. So, they both have their advantages. I found when I do novice with my dogs in the beginning, there's so many things that I don't have to lure because the dog's just having so much fun with it when we've taught it that, if we're doing something like a spin or something, that doesn't require a food lure in our house because they love spinning. And what did we are advancing to Illinois Avenue again. So, I mean, there's like you said, there's lots of advantages and disadvantages to each program. The main thing is that you just find how you want to do it, go with one, and go through all the processes. So with AKC, you can't use tricks in the advanced levels, which is kind of a cool thing. So if you start with, you're doing your novice and you use some advanced tricks, then you can't reuse those. Now in Do More With Your Dog program, you can reuse those. But I find when I do tricks with my own dogs, I really focus on the novice tricks because the novice tricks are your foundation tricks. So if I want to teach my dog that great hold or that great, I need to do the basics first. If I want to teach them to put their toys in their toy box, I need to teach a good fetch first. So it helps break down the more complicated tricks into little pieces that are more palatable. So if you're new to trick training and you feel my dog cannot do that handstand or that push that shopping cart or whatever they want to teach their dog to do, it makes it easier because it breaks those pieces down for you. And that I find the best trick dogs that I've witnessed at the champion level have really been the dogs that work those levels and don't try to just jump through to the hardest tricks right at the beginning because they've built really, really strong foundations with the dogs. So I would definitely suggest that when you're doing your novice tricks, focus on those novice tricks because those are going to give you so much to build on, whether you're doing mouth work, paw work, coordination, whatever. I mean, there's so many different tricks. The idea is to be creative and have fun. So the more creative you are, the more I'm going to love watching your videos because as a judge, I see some of the same tricks over and over and over again, and I'm looking for that dog that has the wow factor. I truly believe every dog has a signature trick, one that they do better than any other dog. It's just they look cool doing it, and I'm looking for that creative spin and how you kind of make the trick your own. And that's what makes a really great trick dog, in my opinion. You might have a different opinion, Trevor, but
I really do also think that foundations are so important. As much as we want to get to those higher level titles, that's our eventual goal, right? Is focus on the moment. And I want to say, bouncing off that a little bit, you've got to have fun with this. And she's saying, especially with this Do More With Your Dog and the more performance side of these things, and that you want your dog to hear the word spin or twist or shake a paw or play dead and just boom, pop into it with excitement. And if you work through your foundations and you get frustrated and you are with any of your tricks and that can bleed into the behavior, and the dog hears that word or that verbal and starts to go, oh, that trick again. Not the foot stall, not the leg weaves, like, and it will just, you'll see the dog's like ears go back, and I mean, so really just have fun with it, be patient with it, and do it in small spurts. Like, Jade is an amazing trick dog. She does so many great tricks, but all of that started with 5 to 10 minute sessions at night right before bed. At this point, it's so cute. We cannot go to bed without playing some tricks with her. It's so much fun. Like, we're getting ready for bed, you know, we're sweeping up the floors, we're doing all this stuff to, like, you know, you take your shower and all that stuff, and I'll come out and I'll start walking to the bedroom, and Jade will run to the training room like, remember, Dad, 5 to 10 minutes of training every day. So she's the best reminder for me.
Yes. And you know what? I'm the same way with all the tricks that I've taught my dogs. I don't do more than 5 minutes at a time. I mean, the rule in our house is if it's not fun, we're not doing it. You know, everybody's got to be having fun. I've got to be having fun. Loki's got to be having fun. He tends to hone towards the training room, so he is obsessed with these blue mats. So the blue mats that I'm sitting on, he knows that when we come on the blue mats, it's playtime. It's not work time to him. It's playtime in his brain. So he comes out and he just wants to offer a million different things. He just wants to run around the room and do whatever tricks that he knows how to do, because this is the playroom. And that's really how I approach everything. So even if we're doing tricks, so we're doing things like the ring toss right now, or if we're doing an obedience skill, it's all tricks, you know, and it's all just having fun. And if you kind of go into it with that, you know, idea, then you're doing everything right, I think.
Right. Guys, this has been an amazing topic, and I am like looking at the time right now, and we've already been talking about this for 25 minutes, and it's just scratched the surface a little bit. So if you want more, definitely check out Kim Bays. I put some links in the comment section. I'll put them up in the description too right after the broadcast. But definitely check out Kim Bays if you want to know more about doing with your dog, and definitely reach out to me as well if you want to do anything with AKC, whether it be evaluating your titles or if you have any questions, like any of that stuff. Just let me know what you guys need, and I'll be there for you. And I know Kim will as well. And we have probably maybe about 2 more minutes left for questions and stuff. And one of the questions, I mean, it's a pretty simple one, but I'm not sure with you. I'm a big Apple person. Are you? Do you have any favorite Android apps, Kim, or do you know any Android apps, or if anybody in the comment section know, for video editing?
On my Android, you know, I use whatever's like built in my Android, honestly. I have used one called Kind Master, which was pretty good, and I think that was just one that was kind of on there. But most of the time I use my desktop when I'm editing, and I have like the original like Windows video editor. I use my Adobe Photoshop too, but that old one is so easy to use. I don't think you can get it anymore though. But yeah, so I usually use the desktop most of the time when I'm editing.
When I'm doing Apple editing on my phone, iMovie has always been number 1 for me too. So that's good. But like, you know, just like whatever's native to your phone. I know there's probably some out there. So if anybody has any suggestions, please comment those down below. And then if you have any more questions, guys, go ahead and pop them down below. We'll answer 1 or 2 more. But I do also want to say, like, Cindy made a really good point with her service dogs. Like, service dogs and therapy dogs, 2 different things, by the way. You know, service dogs are helping people with certain jobs and having certain behaviors, and therapy dogs are going to hospitals and children's homes and things like that to help and do therapy to people. But tricks can be an amazing way to show off how to show off your dog or introduce your dog without having to close that distance, especially with social distancing right now. I mean, cool thing you can do, you can show them a trick from afar.
In the windows, yes. Right. We've been doing that. Loki's a therapy dog, and we've been doing things like we used to go into the physical therapy rooms and kind of, you know, we'd roll the things that they had to push with their feet, and we would do the tricks next to the people, which is great. But now you have to do it through Windows. So, but there's all kinds of cute tricks that you can do Loki, come here.
Cool.
Like at the hospital, pray is probably, yes, the most popular one I do on the side of every bed before we leave the room. So, so those are great tricks that you can definitely apply to therapy work.
Awesome. All right, you guys, I think we got all the questions for the day. And if you guys have any more questions, if you're watching this on replay, thank you for joining us as well. Go ahead and pop those questions down below if you have them. If you guys have been enjoying this summit and you want more, guess what? We're not done for the day. We have another one at 2 o'clock today here. Check it out on Doggie Dojo. I'll be posting it into Modern Dog Training and the event page as well. So if you guys want more awesome goodness with the Elevated Dog Summit.
Trevor, before you sign off, if anybody's interested, I know you'll probably put this in the comments below, but if you want to learn tricks, go to my YouTube page. It's youtube.com/rockindogs. There's like 140 videos, I think, of all different kinds of things. Lots of different tricks, you guys. So that's a good way to get you guys started.
Perfect. Yes, you guys, this has been an awesome, amazing experience. Kim Mays, you have your YouTube channel. You also have your awesome and amazing Facebook page. So definitely check that out in Facebook groups. You have your Stunt Dog group, and you also have your Novice Dog group too, your Spark team. So guys, check that out. I put them up on the screen, and I also put them in the comment section. So please, Kim, go check out Kim Mays. Give her some love. Say thank you so much for joining us, Kim. You've been awesome and incredible, and I appreciate your time today. So everyone,
thanks, Trevor.
bye-bye for now.
Bye.